Hi everyone, Brian here. Welcome to another video. I want to show you this. When did I just forget how to talk? I want to show you the differences between the newer facelifted Ioniq 5 and the predecessor. This video is going to suit somebody that wants to see the differences, well, some of the initial differences that we can see between the current facelifted Ioniq 5 versus its predecessor. I will have more detailed videos, so I need to do a spec. So there's going to be like a stellar model in Ireland, 84 kilowatt, all three of them. There's going to be a stellar, there's going to be an N-line, which is really cool looking as well, and then there's this really high specification one which is called Platinum. So for this is the range topping Platinum. I'm going to show you this one and its predecessor Platinum. I will have another video which is going to be more detailed, like we're saying to you, on the three different models, and I'll also do some driving impressions. If anyone's curious about the color of this car, this is a digital teal. The last time I did a digital teal video, it was a kind of overcast day and I really didn't get the effect that I'm getting from this one now. That is a really cool looking color. I specifically ordered this color because I want to put it into our showroom, because I just think it is a colour that really suits the shape of this car. Okay, so Sad's coming around with the previous generation, so he's going to park it up beside this one. So the first thing that we can see on the two of them then is headlights look immediately the same. So daytime running lights and daytime running lights the same. These ones are intelligent. I have this video here which shows you exactly what I mean by the intelligent front lighting system. It's really cool. The LEDs kind of move around in the direction that you're travelling. After that, you have the active air flaps here, whereas in this one the active air flaps are actually hidden. What I mean by that is you can see them there. 1, 2, 3. So they're much less obvious. Oops, there's my glasses. They're much less obvious than the previous model. So it just makes it look kind of sleek. And if you look at the mouth underneath in this kind of brushed aluminium section, that's much bigger than before, whereas this one is a lot smaller from before. In terms of the fronts pretty much look identical. One thing I have noticed is this front is plastic. So is this one. However, it's got a carpet on the bottom. So there's an inserted carpet mat in here, which is just a little bit neater than the previous model. There is a 20-inch wheel on both models. That's perfect. So this is the previous generation 20-inch wheel. This is the next generation 20-inch wheel. The tires in the previous generation are a 235/45/20 Michelin Pilot Sport, and then these ones are still Michelin Pilot Sport EV, and the size of those tires are the same as before. So Sad's going to move this one out of the way and we'll just get a better idea of the side profile. So pretty much identical. The only difference I can see there is the wheels. There is one thing that's changed though. If you look at the spoiler on this one, it is bigger than the previous generation before. So this one was slightly less pronounced. So you see along here, a little bit less, whereas this one, a little bit more aggressive. So you can see it's coming out a little bit further, maybe about, what, 30 millimeters, something like that. Actually, let me just interject here. I am wrong. That is 50 millimeters. So 5 centimeters, actually, that comes out more so than the previous one. Okay, for anyone then that's pretty much eagle-eyed, if they've done the research already, they'll know the new model is now getting a wiper. Sounds like a small thing, but it did drive people batty on the previous model. Again, just looking at the spoiler, I think it looks pretty nice. It just makes it very sporty looking and square at the back. Lights are the exact same as before, but again, looking down low on the bumper, so we have this section with the vents over here, which are not here, so a smoother looking bumper over here, and then you have this kind of diffuser along through there, which is much bigger over there with more kind of gloss black. So there appears to be, in my opinion, on the front and rear bumpers more gloss black than there was on the previous one as well. So in terms of the boot on both cars, pretty much identical. So we have that kind of 515 litre boot on both. This one just happens to have a boot liner that we put in ourselves here. 12 volt power was in the previous one. One thing, this is just for opening the charge cap if it ever won't open for some electrical reason. One thing I do see on this one, however, these are new. So you press this button here and I presume, yeah, that's to drop the seats forward. So that's new, and then you can just take out that tonneau cover if you want space. And no, they don't come back up. You manually put them back up. I am going to drive the car actually towards the end of the video. Do you know what? So we'll have a quick drive at the end, but just say this car at the moment, 480 kilometers based on say 96%. This car here, the newer one, so we're moving from the 77 to the 84 kilowatt hour battery, of which 80% is usable. 99% has given us 567 kilometers, so we definitely see a range difference. 77 kilowatt hour battery is going to be 225 horsepower. 84 kilowatt hour battery is about 228 horsepower, so it's 225 horsepower, 228 horsepower. Slightly unfair here because we have a dark interior versus light interior, and the light interior is always going to look really cool. But again, I'm going to go through this spec a lot better on this car. This is just differences for the moment, but we still retain the roof and the blinds and heated seats on the rear and all those kind of controls. So really, in terms of the rear, I see very little difference between the two cars. Just looking at the pattern that was there, perforated here, Napa in through there. The other newer one, exact same, perforated and Napa in the same places. USB connectors in the rear. One thing that is new, which was on the Premium Plus a couple of years ago, and then on the Platinum we lost it, and now I can't open it for some reason, and I don't have the key on me. There is a 3-pin plug in through there. It's just closed over. There's a child lock on it here, that's all. Which, like we were saying, used to be on the Premium Plus, but then we lost it on the Platinum. All the adjustability on the seats for kind of not lumbar, but just moving backwards and forwards, and then the fact that they slide and they're 60-40 split, all that stuff remains as before. So let's have a look here. So the same adjustments remain. This is the previous generation. These were the two 10.25 inch screens that were on them before. So the operating software is from around, I suppose, 2021, 2022. So over through here looks a little bit different, and then bear in mind that steering wheel is 2 spokes. Drive mode selector is in here, just for different modes like eco and sport and all that kind of stuff. So then we move into the 12.3 inch screens. Newer operating software that came out in kind of 2023, so just a little bit smoother looking graphics than we've seen on the previous generation, and maybe just a little bit more responsive in terms of the operating software as well. Like what we said, same adjustability on the seat. So let's just have a quick look in here then. This is the sliding center console, which moves backwards and forwards. But the controls, so we have an armrest here. We've got the controls in through here, we'll say, for heated and cooled seats, heated steering wheel, parking sensor functions, big wireless charging unit there, drinks holders in through there. So just bear that in mind, because when we look at the previous model, so drinks holders here, wireless charging was further recessed down there, USB connectors were there. But if you wanted to use heated seat functions and some of the parking sensor functions, it was from this screen here, and the information was relayed back through the big screen. So I think just for user friendliness, this is much nicer. Again, just looking at the steering wheel, bear that in mind, the way it's round, it's 2-spoked, and the way cruise control and the volume adjustments and the drive mode is in through here. The newer steering wheel then is 3-spoke, slightly more flat. No, it's much the same actually at the bottom. I do notice on the N-line actually, so the Platinum's the same, the N-line actually is a really cool drive mode button, but we'll see that in another video as well. So move that back out of the way. Down through here pretty much looks quite similar, and then a lot of the controls in this screen here, they are a little bit different. So we'll just peel this off. So yeah, the screen kind of joins up. This is more like the way the Tucson was, whereas this previous model here had kind of controls there and then 2 smaller screens either side. I like it. I really like this color. I think it's super cool. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go for a drive in the car. A couple of other things actually. The charging rate on this car is now up to 260 kilowatts max. So that's up from the previous model. The previous model being 225. Now obviously this is provided that you can find a charger that will run that kind of rate. But if you do, 10% up as far as 80% of charging becomes feasible in about 18 minutes. And at the time of the video, reading what I do around in terms of other brands, I think only Audi and Porsche can surpass that at the moment. To be fair, Korean brands, they are producing cars with good battery technology. Like even if you do some general Google research, the range claims on a lot of the Korean cars, Kia, Hyundai, they do have fairly robust figures. And I just always like the shape of this car. Every time I see one on a motorway or something like that, it's kind of, you get more perspective when it's driving beside another car, because it looks like a 5-door hatchback car in the video, but then you put it beside a regular 5-door hatchback car in a motorway, it just looks much more kind of, has much more presence. And one thing that actually mightn't have been as obvious yesterday because it was so sunny, a lot more black going on here. So the previous one had a lot more white. Even though this is the light interior, the dash section is a lot more black. I kind of like that. Just a couple of quick final points. This is the previous model, so just look at this kind of perforated section along here on the front seats. Compared to the newer model, perforated down lower, but you have these 4 little dots, which matches the 4 little dots on the steering wheel. Another thing worth mentioning, this has gone from, the wireless charger that has gone from 5 volts up to 15 volts. So this wireless charger is 3 times as powerful as it was in the previous model. Also, in terms of safety, this car now comes with highway drive assist 2. So in other words, previous generation had things like lane keep assist, and the cruise control is adaptive where it follows the car in front. But now when you just tap the indicator, once it's safe, it'll change lane for you. You can barely rest your hand on the steering wheel, but nice stuff like that. And these Platinums also have active sound design, which I saw in the Ioniq5. So whether you like this or not is a different opinions for everyone. But if you listen in the background, so you get that hum. Sometimes I like it. After a while, it does wreck my head, but you can turn it off. So just remember, this video is just showing you the differences between this and the previous one that I can see. So for anyone that's looking for more detailed videos, I will have spec-specific videos coming up. Like what we said, there is an entry model Stellar, there is a middle spec N-Line, and this one's the Platinum, which is the high spec, all 84 kilowatt hour batteries in Ireland. The driving dynamics are like before. There's one feature I really like on the new one. So speed limit warning, if I hold this on the steering wheel over here, 1, 2, 3, and then you can see the message on the screen. That means the beeping stops when I exceed a speed limit marginally, but I still have the speed limit information in front of you. To be fair, it feels like the previous model to drive. I feel like the steering's a bit different, but that might be in my head. But other than that, it drives like the other one previously. Nice big car. It is a big heavy car. So on a back road, it's nimble, it drives okay, but it's still a big heavy car. So, and you will know that when you're driving the car, but I don't think that's a bad feeling. In terms of response and maneuverability, so like to do a quick U-turn, like there's good visibility, there's a nice big 360 camera like there was on the previous model as well, which is various different ways of showing. And then this one, like what we said, 228 horsepower. EVs are great, you can drive the crap out of them and you don't look like you're trying to drive them fast, but they get you up to the speed you want real quick. So again, if you haven't driven one before, come drive one, but if you have one already, it is quite similar to the previous model in terms of how it sits on the road, in terms of acceleration, in terms of response and all those kind of things. If you're in Ireland and you want more information on these, call, text, WhatsApp. That's me, Brian, 086 843 1945. So it's going to take a few photographs of this car, and normally I actually never park in direct sunlight when taking pictures. They just never come out right, but this is actually one of those colours where it looks better in direct sunlight. Anyway, the video, like I said, is just to show you the differences. I will have more videos coming, so if you subscribe, that, you know, you might get to see some of them if you want to see them. If I've missed anything or you want to know anything else, just let me know in the comment section below, and hopefully it's been useful. Thanks for watching.